What's up? What's up, YouTube? Happy Tuesday. What's up? What's going on? Happy Tuesday, YouTube. Welcome to Tuesday with Thom. I'm thankful that you're here. Get everybody else going. What's up, TikTok? What's up, you Facebook and YouTube? Happy Tuesday. What's up? What's up? How y'all doing? Uh, these weeks, man, are flying right on by. Like, what is even happening? It's uh, just crazy. So, TikTok, welcome. Facebook, welcome. YouTube, welcome. I'm so glad that you guys are all here and looking forward to a good night. Melissa Diaz, what's going on? Kathy, what's up? Come on in. Thank you for being here. Uh, it's Tuesday, man. I can't believe it. It's just flying, flying, flying. So what's going on? It is hot here in Oklahoma today. So the heat is on, as they say. So uh, I pray that you're doing good wherever you are. Thank you for spending some time with us tonight. I I definitely appreciate it every time that y'all spend some time with me. So, Tuesday with Thom in the house. And so I'm thankful. There's Rachel. Uh, uh, Rachel, I'm so proud of you. I haven't listened to your second message, but I will. So, I will. So, happy Tuesday. I hope that your week has gotten off to a good start and you're doing good and feeling good and all the things. So, and life is good, man. It's good around here. So I'm thankful. God has been doing so much so quick, so it's just unbelievable uh, how things just are just man rolling and rolling and going. So y'all have a good word for you tonight. I can't wait to get into it. Uh, and so I'm excited for you guys to be here. So TikTok, I love y'all, and Facebook, I love y'all too. That's how I have TikTok over here, Facebook over here, and YouTube in the middle. So uh, love to get to do this, and so I am super excited to just man, just keep on keeping on. Chris Foster, what's going on? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Share this with somebody that I think that might definitely need to hear this. Might definitely. What's which way? Which is it? Might or definitely? Definitely. I'm going to stick with that. So, uh, it things are going good. I'm super excited to talk about. So tomorrow night, Wednesday the 17th, uh, right here. Uh, uh, Not right here because we're going to do a Zoom, but I'm doing a live free Zoom class or a Zoom meeting. And we're going to be, I'm going to be answering some of the most common questions that we get about writing a book, publishing a book, marketing a book. And so anything book related. And so I'm so excited. We have like 100 people signed up, and it's going to be next level. It's going to be really, really good. So if it's not too late, so if you know of somebody that wants to get in on this free live Zoom, like I said, it's going to be tomorrow night. You can go to my website, Level Up with Thom, THOM, levelupwiththom.com, and you can register. It's super simple. We put it right there so you can get to it real easy, and you can sign up. So it just is going to be easier to do it that way. And so we're going to do a live that way. We can really just get in and talk to the people who want to. And so I'm excited. Dr. Destiny in the house. What you think, Dr. Destiny? I'm representing. So y'all come on in, tag somebody. Thank you thank you guys for tagging. And so TikTok, come on in. If you're just joining, I'm going to be doing a free live Zoom tomorrow night, the 17th, and June 17th at 7 p.m. Central Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we're just going to be talking about book writing, book publishing, all that stuff. And so Level Up Publishing is my publishing company. I started in November, and I am super excited to just kind of share some stuff with you guys. And I have a big announcement to make, and so it's going to be really, really good. So I have some new things that are coming, and it's going to be really, really good. So I am looking forward to that. So you don't want to miss it, just for that reason, if nothing else. So anyway, so levelupwiththom.com. Melissa's dropping all the info, and so I appreciate that. And so get over there and get checked out and get signed up, because you're, like I said, you are not gonna want to miss it, because it's gonna be good. So and so levelupwiththom.com, and Melissa's been sending out the emails this afternoon and evening. And so if you haven't got it yet, it's coming. And so just hang tight. It's going to be here. So it's going to be good. So like I said, the announcement, I can't wait, is going to be really, really good. So anyway, all right. So y'all, I'm going to get into it. I got a good word. And like I said, I always just want to be mindful of your time. And I appreciate y'all spending a little time with us, with me on every Tuesday. So I can't believe it's already Tuesday. The week, it seems like it has flown. Work has been super busy. And so that I guess makes it feel a little quicker. So anyway, so oh yeah. So we probably will publicly post the Zoom link just for the last minute people that wanted to join. We will maybe just throw that out there. We were just trying to get a good head count, so to speak, and so just to kind of know who was coming in, and all that kind of stuff. So we'll be posting that probably tomorrow. So anyway, anybody that you know that is thinking about writing a book, or already has written a book, that need to just get it out, get it published, I'm your guy. So anyway, all right, y'all, let's get into it. For tonight, I want to talk about my title is It Ends With Me. It Ends With Me. And I want to ask y'all a question. This is how God talks to me. He asks me questions sometimes, and so I'm going to ask y'all a question tonight. But what are you handing down? Not what are you leaving behind, but what are you handing down? Because inheritance is more than just money. I mean, that's nice. I don't have any rich uncles. They all died, I think. I don't think I have any more uncles left. But inheritance is more than just money. It's more than house. It's more than land. It's it's more than stuff, jewelry, whatever else you guys can think about. But we hand down names. We hand down traditions. We hand down recipes, but we also hand down fear, anger, silence. Whew, silence, man, that's a big one. We hand down addiction. You see it, guys. One generation to the next, it just recycles. It just one to the other to the other. We hand down broken thinking, right? It's always this way. It's never going to get any better. This is just how life is for us. We can never get ahead, no matter what. Broken thinking is always something. Sometimes we hand down wounds that never healed. Man, that one's big. Uh, Somebody in your family taught you something that they never had to even say. Sometimes we're taught things and it's not verbal, it's action, it's the things that we see repetitively over and over and over. um, they maybe they taught you by what they tolerated. Maybe they taught you by what they accepted, right? It must be okay to get knocked around and hit on. It must be okay because mom or dad puts up with it, so that must be okay. um, they taught you by what they ignored. uh, I think like my mom and her mom and that way generationally, they didn't talk about stuff, right? There was a lot of molestation and things like that that happened, and um, they just didn't ever talk about it, right? And so they ignored it. And so if you ignore it, it doesn't happen. You don't have to confront it. You don't have to do anything about it. People being dishonest and stealing and just doing whatever they want to do because that's just what happened, right? And so they taught you by what they ignored. That one's big, y'all. Uh, they taught you by what they repeated, right? Great grandmama did it, grandmom did it, mom did it. You just see it, right? You just see it. And so uh, and so it's just this repetitive stuff, right? And so if nobody interrupts the pattern, then the next generation thinks that it's normal. Think about how powerful that is, y'all. It's heavy. It's critical. It's important. It's been just going on my spirit this week. Is the next generation is just going to think it's normal to barely make it, to live without electricity, to live, just hungry, right? So, uh, so what's the big idea, right? What is the big idea? I need you to hear this tonight. Come on, TikTok and YouTube. Um, what you don't heal, you hand down. What you don't heal, you hand down. When you don't confront, you continue. When you don't break, you become. We're talking about it ends with me tonight, right? Don't forget that. It ends with me. And so, what you don't confront, you continue. What you don't break, you become. Man, what you tolerate, you transfer. What you tolerate, you transfer. So the question's not, what did they do to me? The question is, what will stop with me? Y'all need to write that down. What will stop with me? Right? I always tell my kids, uh, I didn't have my father in my life, and so I didn't. I had other men and godly men in my life to sort of know, but as far as having a father to teach me how to be a father, how to teach me how to be a dad, I didn't have that. So what I did was I knew what not to do, and so I tried not to do those things, and so I wanted it to stop with me, that stuff, right? Not having a relationship, not being present, not being approachable, right? And so uh and we all have our stories, we all have stuff we could talk about, right? It's not what was me. It's powerful when we can use our words and use our testimony because not what did they do to me, not what did he or she do to me, but what will stop with me. Again, I didn't know how to, I didn't know necessarily what to do, but I knew what not to do. So that's just where I started. And so now my kids are both parents. And so hopefully they're going to do, they're going to do some stuff that is better, right? There's some stuff that's going to stop with them that they're, and so um, uh, so this is not about blame. You can play the blame game all we want, right? But you are not responsible for what was handed to you. Somebody needs to hear that tonight. You are not responsible for what was handed to you. Those things you saw, those things that was repetitive, right? Repetition. So some of you were handed divorce. Some of you were handed addiction. It's just what you saw. It's what you know. It's what you lived. You just saw it. So some of you were handed rejection. Some of you were handed people pleasing, right? Uh, Feeling less than, and you were these things of you got to work harder, you got to be smarter, you got to all these things, right? You want people to like you, so you got to do extra, you got to do all these things. Um, some of you are handed a poverty thinking, a poverty mindset. This is it. I don't know how to control my money. I don't know how to do anything with my money, and so it comes in and it goes out, and it's just I don't know anything what to do with any of it. Uh, and and then it's just like you can never have what God promised you. Um, Poverty mindset, man. It just uh uh Camila, thank you. Getting on here. Oh, so some of you were handed that poverty mindset. Some of you are handed racism, right? Racism of all kinds of stuff. Racism of people that don't look like you, talk like you, walk like you, dress like you, right? It covers a lot. Um, some of you were handed church hurt, uh, thinking that racism's okay because you heard it, right? It's just what you heard all the time. And you begin to think that that's okay to talk to people like that. You think that that's just normal, that people are supposed to just put up with that. Uh, some of you are handed church hurt, right? Can't go to church because uh, someone hurt me. I'll never forget, my parents had already divorced, and I just couldn't understand why my mom wouldn't go to church. I was involved with the youth and all of these things, and had a good core group of people, friends, little my age, a little bit more, but I never could understand why. Why? I just kept pushing. And y'all, when I got the answer, I wished I had enough. But it involved church hurt. It involved some things that should have never happened, right? But it also was handed to me, and it had to stop with me, right? So even though I was a young teenager, this information that was handed to me about why, I had to do something with. I had to break it, stop it, and decide I can't let what she did get in me, right? It can't derail me and what God has for me, but it still hurt me, right? Because it's involved somebody else that I cared about. And so the enemy will use whatever he can to derail you and to hurt you by what you have been handed. And so it stops with me, y'all. It's our responsibility. And so uh maybe you were handed anger. Uh Man, again, just handed it, right? Yes, breaking generational curses. That's what this is about. Um, but maybe you were handed anger. You just were taught. You saw how when situations came up that it resulted in violence. It resulted in someone being hit. It resulted in a wall being punched. It involved somebody walking out, right? Some of you were handed fathers who left, right? I sort of touched on that. My parents divorced the summer I turned 13, a very pivotal time in a young boy's life, right? and they shipped me to California where my older brothers were, and they got divorced, and I knew that. My mom and I had moved, and they were divorcing, and when I came back, my father in 3 months, y'all, less than 3 months, my father had already remarried to someone with kids, 3 kids younger than me, and I was the youngest. And so I walked into that. And so some of us were handed fathers that left, mothers that left, somebody who left that was pivotal in your life that hurt, right? And so um, maybe it was a mother who couldn't love because she had never been loved. Man, I just could never understand uh, uh, mothers or fathers that would just leave their kids, just abandon them. Sometimes it is better for them, maybe, but maybe you were handed that coldness from your parent, your mom, because she didn't know how to love. She didn't know how to reciprocate love. She didn't feel worthy of it, right? And so, uh, but you are not responsible for what was handed to you, but you are responsible for what you hand to the next person. Y'all need to write that one down too. You are responsible for what you hand to the next person. Your kids, your grandkids, your coworkers, your friends, your people in your circle, right? The people at your church, in your group, whatever the case might be. You're not responsible for what's handed to you, but you're responsible for what you hand to the next person. What are you going to do with what you've got? That could have been a second title for this tonight, but it stops with me. Somebody has to decide that, right? And so you are responsible for what you hand to the next person, right? Come on, TikTok. Come on, YouTube. Come on, Facebook, right? We're getting into it tonight. Somebody needs to hear this. It is important uh, to get this in your spirit, right? To marinate on it. We tease all the time. We're cooking or whatever. The ingredients have to get well acquainted. There's this cute little lady on Facebook or wherever, she's TikTok, and she's like, okay, let's let these ingredients get well acquainted. Sometimes it takes a minute to get well acquainted with these ideas of, oh, get I can let go of it, right? I can do something about this. I don't have to hand this off to my children or my grandchildren or whoever. I don't have to let my spouse be constantly uh the whipping post because I didn't know how to love, right? I wasn't shown love, so I don't know how. They're doing their best to love you the best they can, and you just can't accept it, and it's just this constant. So we're responsible for what we hand to the next person, not even the next generation, y'all. The next person. It's incredible how God made us as people, because we've all been hurt by people, right? We've been left by people, and yet most of us, somehow we find it to love again. We trust again, right? We bring people back in. And so uh that brings us sometimes to what I call the waiting game, right? Come on, somebody. Everybody's waiting. Everybody's waiting. I'm waiting for them to apologize. They were wrong, right? They hurt me. So I'm going to just wait for them to apologize. Uh, I'm waiting for them to change. If they don't have the tools, if they don't have the support, they're not going to do it. I'm waiting for them to call. Right? I'm going to wait for them to call. They know what they did, and I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna make the call. I'm waiting for them to admit they were wrong. Whew, we might be waiting a long time. Because y'all listen, if people are malicious and they know what they did, they know what they did. And so sometimes we're going to be waiting a long time because people just aren't, they're never going to admit it. If especially if they were very narcissistic and very manipulative and stuff. Uh, they're probably not gonna admit it. But I'm waiting for them to call. I'm waiting for them to admit they were wrong. I'm waiting for God to fix it. Do y'all see a pattern here? Them, they. Now we're gonna switch it to God. I'm just I'm just fasting and praying that God's gonna fix it, right? I'm just fasting and praying that they're gonna call and they're going to hear. Sorry, I have to get a tissue. I'm waiting for them to admit they're wrong. God's gonna fix it. Can I ask y'all something? What if they never do? What if they never do? What are you gonna do with what's been handed to you? Are you going to just let that bitterness and that hatred grow in you and hand that off to somebody else? That this is acceptable. This is how we treat people. This is what we do. Because y'all, sometimes you just have to forgive and move on because you're never going to get, and sometimes things need to be cut off, right? There are certain people that are toxic and need to be out of your life. But what if they never do? Will your healing die because somebody else never made a move? My God. Will your healing die? My God. Are you willing to let your future be held hostage by someone else's decision? We're letting other people decide for us, right? It's heavy when you carry junk, right? No matter what it is. It's more than forgiveness, right? Don't get hung up on just that. Whatever it is, it's heavy. So are you willing to let your future be held hostage? Man, that rocked me. I was like, no. Y'all, we have too much to do to be held hostage by anybody. By anybody. And so it's a decision that we have to make, right? Maybe it is a situation that can be repaired, right? And so you can make the call, right? And by doing that, what you do is you release it, right? Okay, God, I'm going to do this. I'm going to step out. I don't know if I was wrong, because sometimes once you hear the other person's version, you hear the other person, whatever, like, oh my gosh, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. Oh, yes, Kathy, morning move. Sometimes we just got to move, keep it moving. So somebody has to go first, right? Remember, it ends with me. It ends with me. Everybody wants healing in one shape or form or the other, right? Even the most terrible person, they want it. Doesn't mean they're ever going to admit it. But nobody wants to forgive first. Everybody wants peace, but nobody wants to apologize first. Everybody wants restoration. Nobody wants to humble themselves first. My God. Whew. That's a big one. Humble. Being humble. Admitting if you're wrong. Maybe you were. Maybe you were. Everybody wants the miracle, but nobody wants to sacrifice. My gosh. What miracle do you need so desperately right now? You may have to sacrifice. Somebody has to go first. Somebody has to be the first father to stay. Right? My dad didn't have a great relationship with his dad. I didn't have a great relationship with mine. So it had to end with me. Like I said, it might not be perfect, but it was always my goal to be better. Somebody has to be the first father to stay. Somebody has to be the first mother to break the cycle. This is not going to happen to my daughter. This is not going to happen to my son. They will not deal with these things that I dealt with. Somebody has to be the first person to put the bottle down, right? Those learned things, those things that we learn to, that it's okay that we do and that we see and say. Somebody has to be the first one to say, we don't talk like that anymore. We don't talk like that anymore. We don't talk about defeat. We don't. I'm not saying just bad words. We don't talk about being defeated. We don't talk about not being good enough, not being able to, right? So we don't talk like that to each other anymore. Uh, that's big, right? We don't punch holes in the walls around here. We talk through our emotions. We talk through why we're feeling like that. Somebody's got to go first. So maybe that's you. Somebody has to be the first one to pray. That's a great thing about God, is he doesn't expect some big elaborate prayer. He expects us to just be honest with him and say, God, I don't even know what I'm doing, but I know I need some help and I need you to help me. And so maybe you need to be the first one to tithe, right? Trust God. 10% of your income goes to God, not the church, not to a preacher, but to God, because he's the one that's going to watch over his word to perform it, and he's going to bless you. The first one to worship, right? I don't even know what it looks like. I don't know what it feels like, but I'm gonna raise my hands and I'm okay, God, I praise you. I can't see what's going on, but I trust you, God. I praise you in the midst of what's going on. I choose to worship you, God, and say, thank you. Thank you for today. Thank you for today that was better than yesterday. The first one to believe. I believe that I'm good enough. I believe that God has called me, chose me, anointed me. I believe that we can do better than this, that we can get up out of this, right? I believe that all things work together for our good, according to his purpose. The first one to forgive. Teaching others around you to forgive is powerful. It's powerful. It's a powerful gift that we don't give often enough. So everybody's waiting on somebody else. But what if heaven, what if God is waiting on you? Right? We want to say, God, where's my blessing? What's holding this up? What is it, God? Somebody's just like, well, I'm waiting on you. I'm waiting on you. I'm waiting on you to do the things that you need to do to deal with this something. It ends with you. So one of my favorite stories. I feel like I say that all the time, but that's okay because a lot of them are. But the woman with the issue of blood, uh, 12 years she carried something she never asked for. She bled for 12 years nonstop. And then it was, you were unclean if that happened. And and so for 12 years she suffered 12 years of isolation, 12 years of pain, 12 years of disappointment. You even imagine that was a prison sentence. Uh, she she suffered for 12 years, and so she heard about Jesus coming to town, and she could have decided to stay home. She could have accepted that that was just her life. The Bible says that she's money going to the doctor, right? And she never could get any better. So she was doing what she thought she was supposed to do, right? But she was still stuck. She was still bleeding. She was still hurt. She was still dealing with the same thing day after day after day and week and month after month for 12 years. She could have just accepted it and finally decided, I'm unclean. I'm just going to die. Let me just accept this. She could have waited for Jesus to come to her, not knowing that Jesus was, his popularity was growing crazy by then. But she could have decided that I'm just going to accept this. This is just how this is. This was handed to me and I'm just going to, that's it. But instead, she heard about Jesus and she said, if I can just touch just a thread, I didn't even have to have any attention. I can't have any attention actually, but she crawled, she pushed through the crowd and she said, I have to do this, right? It ends with me. And she reached out and said, let me just touch the hem of his garment, just the very fringe, right? I wonder if she was saying in her spirit, it ends with me. It ends with me. I don't have any other options. I have to move. And if it's true what they say about this Jesus, then I'm gonna be healed. This condition will not define my future. What do you have? What condition in your life do you have that you need to say that about? This condition will not define my future. The pain will not become my identity. Physical pain, emotional pain, psychological pain. The struggle will not write the rest of my story. It will not. It ends with me. The prodigal son. I love this story too. Y'all, prodigal son went out, was partying, doing all the things, right? And I wonder how many other fathers would have waited, right? I wonder uh, uh, how many fathers would have waited. He's like, the Bible says, I love this in the scripture, that he looked for a son every day. He was out there looking to see if he was going to come back. Uh, uh, he could have said, well, he left me. He's is an embarrassment. He embarrassed me. He wasted everything I worked for. Let him make the first move, right? I don't have to, I am the father, right? But he was waiting every day. And I love it in the scripture. It says the father was watching and he saw his son coming from far off. From far off. I don't think they had binoculars back then, but he was watching. And he saw his son coming and he took off running. He ran. He ran to his son. He went first. He didn't wait for perfection. He didn't wait for his son to come begging and crawling back and begging him. As soon as he saw him, he went running to him. And that always blesses me, that story, because that's exactly how God is. Sometimes the strongest person in the room is the one who runs first, makes the first move, makes the call, makes that first move, the first decision to do what they, whatever to fix it. I love, because then of course the son starts to apologize and whatever, and the father's just glad he's there. Put the robe on, put the ring on. Let's kill the fatted calf that we've been working on, and let's celebrate. He's home, and so again, he was handed. He could have been handed something, but it ended, right? And so hopefully it continued to build on their relationship, and it was it made them closer because they just let it go. So let's talk about Jesus for a minute. I mean, why not? The entire gospel is the entire gospel is built on one truth. God didn't wait for us. He came to us. The word became flesh and dwelt among us. I love that. While we were sinners, he loved us first. while we were broken, he forgave first, right? He decided that he needed to end this having to have all these sacrifices and do all these rituals and things over and over. They would sin, and Jesus would come to be the ultimate sacrifice for our sins. So he loved us first. We were broken. He forgave. While we were running, he pursued first. Any of y'all ran away from God? Went out acting crazy, trifling, as Melissa Diaz says. He pursued us first, y'all. The cross was saying, I'll make the first move, right? He sacrificed everything to end what, so we didn't have to hand that off to somebody else. That continued sinful nature, that having to sacrifice and do the things over and over and over. So the dysfunction dies with me. It was handed to me, but it dies with me. So I don't hand that off to the next person. There comes a moment when somebody in the family has to stand out. Is that you? Are you that person in your family that either has or is needing to? God is, hello, tap, tap, tap. Not in pride, not in anger, but with holy determination. And there's nothing like that. Stand up in holy determination and say, this addiction ends with me. This abuse ends with me. I might have thought it was okay, but it's not okay anymore. And what we're not going to do is tolerate this anymore. This gossip ends with me. That's something Southerners get blamed for all the time, right? Just sitting around gossiping. The rage ends with me, punching holes in the walls and doors and all this stuff. And Teresa, welcome. Teresa, sorry, I didn't say it right. The affair ends with me. Y'all, it was in my bloodline. Everybody had an affair, right? So somebody has to say it ends with me. The poverty mindset ends with me. Y'all, I have a picture that I'll post. I just found it the other day, and I know you won't be able to really see it, but this was what one of the places that we lived when I was young. This was in the desert in California. TikTok, there you go. This is where we lived. And after we lived here, we moved into my mom's cousin's garage. And it was summertime, and it was so hot. It was a detached garage. And when the sun would come up, it would get so hot in there. This picture made me think about that the other day when I saw this. The poverty mindset ends with me. I always knew it was in me to do something different, because I saw my mom start to break it. I saw her when, again, that 12, 13, 14-year-old mark, she went back to school, got her GED. Then she went to nursing school. And y'all, it was tough. It was hard, man. My other brothers are gone, right? It's just her and I, single mom, trying to raise me. She had to take rides to get to the Votech. My gosh, my eyes, sorry. She had to accept rides from people that were just, sleazy kind of people, right? But she had to it ended with her. And so I began to see that shift. And it was I felt obligation to continue that. So that poverty mindset of being afraid all the time the electricity was going to get turned off, or we wouldn't have enough to eat, or whatever the situation might be, it had to end. It had to end somewhere, right? Yes, I'm going to be the first millionaire in my family, and then I'm going to pass that right on down. Right? I have 4 grandbabies that I want them to see that they can do more than what their parents did, more than what I did. So that poverty mindset even isn't just about being a millionaire. It's about the mindset of just living like that, just that you're not good enough and you're just accepting whatever, right? We were made for more than that. So the bitterness ends with me. There are generational curses of bitterness out there, right? Generations of that's why we have wars and all this stuff. It's these generations of bitterness and thinking they're right. Uh Maybe it's church hurt. Church hurt ends with me, right? I am breaking that cycle that it is acceptable to put up with people pleasing and thinking that people are God, right? Who do they think they are, right? Uh, uh, I'm going to maybe God is pushing us in a different direction. Okay, God. Okay, open the right door, God. Tell me what to do, and I'll do it. Uh, the silence ends with me. The silence ends with me. I'm going to share my testimony. I'm going to talk about the things that God has done in my life so that it can encourage somebody else to say, oh my gosh, yeah, I'm not the only one. Right? Good, bad, whatever it is. My children will not inherit my wounds. And I pray that has happened. I pray that they didn't, that they're seeing that, especially now, more healing in me. My grandchildren will not carry my chains. That one got me. My grandchildren will not carry my chains. The things that bound me, depression, anxiety, fear, people pleasing. No, 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 no. They are not going to carry those chains. I got to break it. I have an obligation to stand up and break that stuff, to do the work, to say, it's not going to keep going. It ends with me. So the family will not keep bleeding because I was too afraid to heal. They're not going to keep carrying my chains. It ends with me. Once you decide that, it's powerful. It's a game changer. It's a game changer. So here is a word for the person who is tired. Are you tired? Are you tired, TikTok? Maybe you're wondering why the battle has been so hard. Have you ever thought about that? Why is it always so hard? Why do I have to work twice as hard and not feel like I get anywhere? Why is the warfare so intense? Why is it so intense? You feel like that? You're tired. Why does it seem like you've had to fight battles that nobody else fought? Because they just chose not to fight, y'all. They handed it to you. And you've decided it's going to end with you. And so you're fighting in this spiritual warfare, right? Because maybe the enemy knows something maybe you don't know. Because if you get free, your children will never have to fight what you fought. Your grandchildren will never have to carry what you carry. Your bloodline may change because one person refused to surrender. See, when we start making it about us and who we're going to hand this to, it changes it because it's more than just about us. What are you handing to folks, to people around you? The enemy thought he was fighting one person, but in reality, he was fighting a whole generation. A whole generation of people that couldn't quite get it done. And now it's your turn. You've stepped up to the plate, and now it's your turn. That's powerful. That's a powerful place to be, because you don't have to put up with it. You don't have to keep thinking poverty mindset. You don't have to keep thinking that abuse is okay, that addiction's okay. So here is a hard question. I wonder if God has been listening to our prayers. I'm sure he has. What are you praying? What's your prayers sound like? What are things that you pray? Are you complaining? While maybe he hears our prayer while he is waiting for your participation. You've been asking God, when are you going to move? When are you going to do this for me, God? When is this going to happen? And maybe heaven, God is saying, when are you? When are you going to move? When are you going to take that first step? When you decide that you're going to go back to school, you're going to get online and get some free education from YouTube University, learn a skill, learn something. I say this all the time. Last year at this time, I had no idea what was coming, right? I'd written 2 books, but I had no idea that it was about to turn into a whole publishing company, right? Because when I started moving, God started moving. And man, he moves quick. He moves quick. When you start moving, man, he's quick. He's quick. I've shared this, but last year, 2025, he told me, fast track. He's like, you're going to have to make decisions quick. You're going to have to trust your discernment, and you're going to have to move. Okay, God, I had no idea what all that was going to be, but I trusted him, and I did. I tried to move quick. I tried to trust God, and you know what? Things started happening quick. Insane. God was bringing right people in my life. Things were moving. Big things were changing and happening right before my eyes. And it was that yes, that okay, God, this is what you said. I trust you, right? And so now this year, God is saying, now I'm going to make fast decisions about you. You made fast decisions last year. Last year you trusted me, and you made fast decisions. You used your discernment. So this year I'm going to make fast decisions about you, right? Because it ends with me. There's some things that had to end with me to say, I don't know the first thing about this, but I'll figure it out. So when heaven moves, y'all, sometimes we're not ready. We're not ready for when God moves like that. He said, I'm going to make fast decisions about you. Come on, God. I'm here for it. So I don't know who this message was for tonight, but I believe somebody has been waiting. You've been waiting for an apology. You've been waiting for closure, waiting for somebody else to become the person they should have been. And God sent me to tell you, stop waiting. Forgive anyway. Forgive even when you don't get an apology. Love anyway. Pray anyway. Your church hurt, pray anyway. Somebody did you wrong, pray anyway. Heal anyway. Heal anyway. Trust anyway. Y'all, when you get dropped, when you get left, when people give you reasons not to trust, it's happened. It's happened. We all probably have a story. Trust anyway. Build anyway. It's hard. Again, new relationship. Oh, last one cheated, this one's going to cheat. New job. That boss treated me terrible, this one's going to treat me terrible. Got to trust. Got to trust. God, uh, uh, help me keep my heart right. Help me do what I'm supposed to do. And you're going to take care of everything else. If they do something that's not right, you're going to handle that. God, that's above my pay grade, God. I don't even have to worry about it. Because he sees our faithfulness. He sees when we are handling those things that were handed to us. Trust anyway. Build anyway. What's he been telling you to build? Build it. Go anyway. Go anyway. Go online and research whatever. Go talk to somebody. Go move. Faith without works is dead. Because somebody has to go first. Somebody has to go first. And maybe, just maybe, God looked through your family tree. Sometimes I feel like mine might have been a bush, but he looked through it anyway. He saw the dysfunction. He sure did. He saw the addiction. Yeah, that too. He saw the brokenness. Yeah. He saw the secrets, right? Those generational curses, those generational secrets that were passed down. He saw the tears, right? The Bible says he saves our tears. He saves them. He knows. And he pointed at you, not because you were the strongest, not because you were the smartest, maybe, but because he knew that you would eventually stand up and declare, right? He pointed at you because he knew you were going to be the one to stand up and declare, I may not have started this, but by the grace of God, it ends with me. It ends with me. Somebody needs to put that in the chat. It ends with me. That's your word for this week, y'all. What you don't heal from, you hand down. You are not responsible for what was handed to you, but you are responsible for what you hand to the next person. That's powerful. That's where our power comes from. That's what we get to decide, right? Is I'm going to deal with this. Yeah, come on, y'all. It ends with me. Powerful, right? This manipulation, these, whatever it is, it ends. Because when we get junk out of the way, God, like I said, when you move, he's going to start running. He's going to start running and he's going to flip it and reverse it. And he's going to catapult you into something that you can't even imagine. And so now I'm praying, God, help me be ready for what I'm praying for. Help me to be ready, God, for what I'm praying for. Help me to be ready to hand down those good things, right? The good things, God, that you've given me, the talents and the blessings you've given me. That's what I want to hand to the next person. That's what I want my kids and grandkids to be able to take from me and see that if God can do it for me, with me, to me, then he can do it for anybody, right? If he can use me, he can use anybody. But he's just waiting for your yes. So it ends with me. And that is our topic for the week. So, y'all, wasn't that good? Man, that was a good. Uh, I love how God is not playing with us. He's not playing. So, so many amazing things coming up and happening, and uh, thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. Thank you for taking this into your spirit and allowing it to go over in your spirit and do a work in you that needs to be done, uh, because it ends with you. And and um, so for the next week, y'all think about this. Think about those things in your life that need to end with you, and watch God bless you. He's faithful. He will watch over His word to perform it, and He will. So, thank you, Kathy. I love you. I love all of y'all. Thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight. Remember, tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Central Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, free live Zoom. It's going to be incredible. Got a great big announcement that's coming. Some good stuff that's happening. And I can't wait to answer some questions and really just get to visit with people. And we're going to be doing some activation around here. And so it's exciting time. So Rachel, thank you. Y'all have an amazing rest of your week. Melissa, thank you so much as always. Rachel, thank you for tagging folks. Y'all have an amazing week. I love y'all. TikTok, I love y'all. YouTube, I love y'all. It ends with you.